This is Back of the Class podcast. I'm Ben.
I'm Glenn.
Episode 63. Before we start off this week's episode, we'd like to say a huge thank you to our sponsors: Members First Credit Union, VIR Electrical, Balgriffin Inn, Pitchside Pizza and Grill, Coco's Cakes and Orem. And this week we're joined by
Ryan Carrick. How are you doing?
For coming in.
Will you introduce yourself, away?
So, for the listeners who might not know who you are or what
They
you
all
do,
know. They all know.
introduce yourself and what do you think they'll learn off this episode?
My name is Ryan Carrick. I suppose I would call myself a comedian at this stage, or at least that's what I want to call myself. I make kind of online comedy sketches and stuff like that. I also work for Joe.ie, which is like an online publisher, and I suppose I'm just a fucking bally cunt as well. But most importantly, I suppose I don't know. That's up to you. Whatever you ask me is what they learn. I suppose maybe a bit about what I do and how I got started and stuff like that. And I've nothing motivational to give you or anything to other than maybe just wing it and do your best and I don't know, try your best and have fun while you're doing it as well. So maybe that's my answer to your question there, lads. Yeah.
Lovely stuff.
Daily, thank you.
How are you, Ryan?
Good, man. Yeah.
Busy?
Yeah, how are you?
Good. I'm very good.
Good.
It was nice bumping into you. I'm getting a bit of recognition there at the Paddy Power Festival. Yeah.
Yes.
I was
When
saying to
that,
Glenn,
actually? When was that?
that was in
July, I believe. Yeah.
Was it
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so it was a long time ago, wasn't it?
6 months ago.
Time
Yeah.
flies. Like, I'm always thinking that. I think things are closer than they are, and I'm like, jeez, that was 6 months ago.
Yeah. Well, look, don't talk to me. Everything's a blur. But like the relentless march of time waits for no man. I know you're only young lad, but if he's grasped that now, he's be able to enjoy life a bit more because I was 17 yesterday.
It looks like we're already bringing out that motivational side.
Maybe
that was amazing.
Maybe it's not a natural thing. Maybe you bring it out of me a little bit. Yeah. No, but yeah, I saw you at the Paddy Power Comedy Festival. It was very funny. You were outside grabbing people. I'd imagine to rope them into doing the podcast or getting to doing it because I've seen the interviews that you've done so far with the names that you have grabbed. One of the ones I saw was David Guetta.
Yeah. Lionel Richie as well.
Lionel Richie, how does that come about? Are you just in the right place at the right time? Do you get the information and you're like, right, I know that these lads are going to be here, or what's the crack? At 50 Cent, that's another one that you've got.
Yeah, sometimes we actually went for a Nando's with Tony Ayo and Uncle Mord.
Come on.
That was a bucket list moment, but sometimes it's just being relentless. Sometimes it's grit. Sometimes it's gathering information. Sometimes it's reaching out to everybody who you think can help you, and sometimes just putting your neck on the line. And the more consistent you are, the more.
What does putting your neck on the line mean? Like what do you mean with that?
If you have a number and you know that person might know that person,
Don't be afraid to ask.
Don't be afraid to just like me and Glenn say with the neck like a jockey. Do you know what I mean? Because nobody's gonna hand you anything in life. You really have
people
to.
With a good quote: a closed mouth doesn't get fed.
There you go. Shy babies don't get any sweets.
Yeah. It could go all day. Slow feet don't eat.
But yeah, sometimes it's just like I don't believe in luck. I believe we're lucky people, but I think that's down to us. I think you decide whether you want to be lucky or not. I think lucky is just a mindset because the more consistent we are, we're in town probably every single weekend chasing down people or ringing people or emailing people or doing something. And then when these moments come, people say, oh, that's luck, but they haven't seen the 10 months beforehand where we were in there every single weekend and we got nothing, do you know what I mean? So consistency puts you in a position where luck is much more likely to strike. One of my favourite quotes at the minute.
Do you just have...
We're going to write a book.
Quotes, yeah. ChatGPT, ChatGPT, all these quotes. No, that's great. That's a great mindset, especially like as young as you are. Like I certainly wasn't going into town looking for celebrities on a Saturday when I was 17. I was studying.
Yeah,
I was studying for my leaving cert, actually. That's what I was doing, yeah.
How did you find school?
I found it grand, yeah. I was very... I found it grand. I went to Declan's in Cabra, which is a Christian Brothers school, and it was I enjoyed school. I had made loads of friends and stuff like that. But I was very shy in school. That's what I like. I think people might be slightly surprised by when they meet me is that like I used to be very shy up until I'd say I was about 21, 22. Like I was never kind of the class clown or anything like that. You know what I mean? I think it was. I don't know what it was. I think it was maybe two. You probably notice I've quite like rosy red cheeks, which were a lot worse in school. Like, you know the way like you probably still hear it, like, oh look, he's going red.
Yeah.
He's going red. Like even if you weren't going red, people would just say that, you know. And then
And you
you
start going red from that.
You go red. So that was great, and I used to fucking hate that. So that affected me, and I probably like stopped me from I don't know, speaking up in class and, you know, trying to have the crack and stuff. So it wasn't until I went into college that I started to maybe come out of my shell a little bit, and so then I started posting videos.
That I was only thinking that I walked by you there. It would have been a couple of months ago now in town. You were doing an interview. I would have said hello, but you were mid interview and I was catching the train. You were in the zone, yeah. And I was just thinking to myself, like, you were mentioning that you were a showy kid there and all, and it does take some confidence to be able to stop people in the street and actually have the confidence to like put yourself out there on camera and ask random people random questions, and even stopping people. I'm sure out of 10 people, probably 9 of them walk by you. Like, well, that's just what I'm guessing.
Well, you're probably not far off. Yeah, it's probably. Oh yeah. I feel like we're better at it now, but you're dead right. Like it's still, and I don't think I'm fully used to that. Like, but that's more so like, oh, it's like stopping randomers on the street, and they're doing something. They're doing something with their day, and you have to stop them and be like, will you chat to us for this video, and we're asking you how much a pint should cost or whatever, you know. So like, now sometimes you get some really good stuff out of it, so like it's worth it, and you can have some really funny conversations with people and stuff. But that definitely took me a while. Even like when I started in Joe, I was, you know, I was buzzing for it and stuff, like, but I remember it took me months to get used to that. But it's like rejection therapy. That's a thing where like yeah.
There's a girl on TikTok who does that a lot. Sophie, she's from England or Brighton or something like that.
And she purposely does things where she'll get like the answer no.
Yeah.
And that makes you, I suppose.
She does crazy things though, walking in with marker all over her face.
Yeah, exactly.
Like goggles on her face with marker and a mustache, and walks into coffee shops and asks for like.
No, I don't do that sort of
Yeah. But like that rejection therapy, like that's a powerful thing. Like I think especially nowadays, like people, I do try and do it just to, because I genuinely like meeting new people, and I struggled with talking to new people, but ever since like we started the podcast, that really just pushed you over the ice, and then either sink or swim. And I think I swam so far, and anyway, so like now we're just like, if I'm in a queue and instead of going on my phone, I just turn to whoever's behind me and just start talking to them. Do you know what I mean? Or trying to like just even compliment someone, just to like maybe brighten someone's day, or just make them like have a bit more confidence or something, because the world's really lacking confidence now, I think.
And I think as well, anyone can bring confidence out in themselves. Like people, I know a lot of people think they can't, but you really can. Like, I'm the same as Ben. Like I couldn't really talk to people before the podcast. Like I could talk to people, but I'd be very aware of what I'm saying.
But
very
now self-conscious
of it. Now I'm just like be myself. So,
but gas Jay-Z, like yous are probably doing that like a lot earlier than people would develop that skill in life then, and I suppose the podcast is a great thing for that. Like I had a podcast a few years ago, and I probably had a kind of a similar thing where it forces you to fill the dead air. Like like if you're presenting a podcast, you have to just talk, regardless of what you're saying, because the silence is worse than anything. So I kind of had that as well. I had a podcast before with a friend of mine, Podge, and it involved having guests on and stuff and interviewing people, like fairly big names, particularly in comedy and stuff, and that was great for me as well. So I'm not surprised that's gonna help you. But like the rejection therapy thing, and like the faking it till you make it. Like fake it till you make it is like a real thing. Like I completely winged it. Like,
you have to act like the person that you want to become. That's something I always say.
Honestly, and like I don't know if that sounds like pretentious or anything, but it's like, it is true. Like it's you have to pretend you're funny or something. Like that's what I felt like I was doing. You know, pretend that was funny until I actually believed that I could actually be funny. If you know what I mean. So but that's subjective, and that's opinion based. But so like it was definitely a journey. You know.
So you're on to your second podcast now.
Yeah. So collecting them like infinity stones.
What made you start the podcast, and what sort of interviews did you do in the first one?
In the first, so My friend Podge had a podcast called The Podcast.
That's good.
Genius. So when
Crafty.
I was a guest on it a couple of times, and then he asked me if I wanted to join him, and we changed the name to the Ryan Podcast. Because my name's Ryan. Do you get that, lad?
See that there.
And so basically, yeah, his podcast, it didn't really change format too much. It was basically, we just had guests on. Podge, for some reason, he worked for Jameson and stuff, so he had a few contacts from events and stuff, so he was kind of in the know, and he was a bit of a man about town, so we had some good contacts there. And then when I came on board, I suppose I had the comedy side of things, so we had some cool comedians on, and that was great crack. The only reason that stopped, we did that for about 2 years, and that stopped because he fucked off to America on me, so then I had to find something else to do. But yeah, since then now I'm doing a podcast at the moment with Simon Hennessy, who's another online
He
comedian.
works with you in Joe, is he?
No, he doesn't. He's done a couple of bits with Joe.
Yeah.
Yeah. But he doesn't work with him. But that is a very tonally, that's a very different podcast. That's an improv podcast. It's called Role Play, and it involves us playing characters basically, and we roll a dice for the last segment, and we do a scenario, play out a scenario based on whatever the dice lands on. So it's all very clever stuff, lads. Yeah.
Tell us, why did you pursue the role of being a comedian?
I honestly don't know. As I said, when I was finishing up in school, I did business for a year in college in Maynooth for no reason. Just my mates were going there, and I was like, you can probably get a job in business. That just seemed like a very kind of general, vague thing. This business means job. So I was like, didn't know what to do when I left. And then after less than a year of that, I was like, well, obviously this isn't what I'm gonna do with my life. And I didn't know what I was gonna do then, but I remember during school I was always gonna do journalism. That's what I was gonna do when I left school. And I should have done that in the first place. But I went back and did journalism. And it was when I was doing journalism, I learned how to do edit videos and stuff. And I was funny with my friends and stuff. But I was never really outgoing. But I made my friends laugh, and that was kind of enough for me at the time. So I remember I started posting videos on my Snapchat story, because I was working in a Mace, a local shop. I started posting little stupid kind of puns and small little sketches in there, and that was really good crack. And then I posted a video called sorry, I tell a lie, when I was going to Vancouver one year, I made a video slagging lads who got to Belvedere or posh school or private schools. And that was the first kind of time any of my video I posted on Twitter. Would you believe Twitter was a big thing back then? This is 2019, so we're going back. You weren't born then, but it was Twitter was a big thing, and so that was the first time any of my videos did any numbers, and I was like, this fucking dopamine, the dopamine hit I'm feeling from all those likes coming in, I'm not letting this go. And then I did the same character 3 times, and people were on Twitter telling me to fucking kill myself and stuff. So I was like, oh, maybe this isn't for me. But then a few months later, I was in the shop, and I made a video with a character called Joxy Turbo. I don't know if you're familiar. Just pretend you are. Oh yeah, it's class. And that again did well, and so off the back of that, then I kind of just started posting videos a bit regularly, and it was kind of just sorry, I was posting these originally on my Snapchat story. It was my mates that were post that on Instagram, post that on Twitter, and so I suppose without that, I probably would never have actually made that jump, And then I suppose I've been on and off making videos then for the last 5-6 years, and I suppose I kind of fell into it then, because as we were saying there, you kind of as you're doing this stuff, you kind of gain a bit of confidence, and then you things start opening up, and if you gain a bit of traction, you're like, oh well, maybe there is something here. And but I don't think it was necessarily always in my head that I was gonna go down this route. But I'm glad that it's kind of worked out like that. You
mentioned you got a bit of hate there after you first posted it. When you first hit a video like that, I think it's very hard to follow up with it then. and then you tried to follow up with that and got hate over it. So that was tough. Like, how did you just bounce back from that and say, right, a few months later, I'm gonna still
haven't
post?
Bounced back. I'm still still thinking about it. No, it's you're dead. Like, you're dead right. Like, I got too big for my boots. I was like, I posted one video, so everybody's gonna like every other video after this, but doesn't work like that. Once a bit of content goes out past, your immediate circle, like, you're opening up yourself to criticism. Nor like, I suppose, warranted criticism, or like normal criticism. But then you just have, like, the internet is the worst place in the world. It is a cesspit at the best time. So like, you've all sorts on that, and they'll say anything. They don't care. Like, so that was one thing I just had to get used to. Like, you know what I mean? So like, when I saw that, I genuinely was like, oh well, I'm never posting anything ever again because I can't hack it. But you do just realize that is just a minority of people. Like, you have to it's a guarantee that not everyone is going to like what you do, but if people are like sending you fucking abuse, there's something wrong with them, and that's not on you. So I've had no, like, you just have to have a bit of a thick skin. I don't get too much abuse online. Joe.ie kind of gets a bit of abuse, and sometimes when we post, especially when we started on Joe, and I started kind of posting slightly weirder stuff than they would have, traditionally posted. You know what I mean, like, sketch wise and comedy wise. So like, people let us know that they didn't like what.
How did you deal with like the confidence part of like that bit of indifference? Like,
I did. It makes me sad sometimes that there's people who will post that stuff. I've never posted anything negative before, like, but again, like, you can post a bad review if you had a bad experience in a restaurant, but telling someone to kill themselves for posting for posting a comedy video that you didn't like, or you thought was cringy or whatever, like, that doesn't really compute with me. So I try to kind of or like ignore that. Like, don't look at the comments, basically. Do you know what I mean? Look at the nice comments. That's it. Yeah.
And how did you deal with like the consistency part of social media and staying on top of people's heads, sort of thing?
Oh god, yeah. I struggled with that. I didn't for a while. So like, I was really on and off. Like, the first few years, like, I took a year off, and it wasn't for any particular reason. It was during COVID, and it wasn't as if like I was struggling. Maybe I just had like a block or something. I just couldn't really come up with something. And the longer it goes, then the harder it is to just make the first bit of content then that you return with. You know what I mean? So like, and then, but once you do, then you realize that it doesn't matter. Nobody's like waiting for anything, and nobody really forgets about you either as well. So like, you can take a break for as long as you want. But I suppose since starting in Joe, because a huge part of my job now is making content constantly, I'm kind of in that rhythm, and there's a bit of a flow there. So like, I make a good bit for Joe, because as I said, it's my full-time job, but because the juices are flowing, I think it's easier for me to do my own stuff as well. So yeah, I tried not to get bogged down about like, God, I'm losing relevance or anything, or like people are forgetting about me or whatever like that. So I think that's probably kind of stood to me a bit, like, that I don't kind of worry about that too much. And I suppose because off the back of that, I think I kind of naturally had a bit more of a consistency over the last 2 years maybe than I would have done before that. You know what I mean?
And see, if you have content ideas, how do you keep your difference between your personal account and the Joe.ie account?
Yeah, it's a good question. I suppose they're kind of even like the style of content and the.
Do you mind them crossing over, or do you try keep them kind of separate vibes?
Some of the kind of formats that I've done on my page, I would keep that kind of separate. Yeah, I wouldn't. But like, you can tell that like my style of comedy is, I think, is still very prominent on Joe.ie. I don't know how conscious that is, like, that separation, but I think the Joe.ie audience is much broader than my audience, or my followers or whatever. Do you know what I mean? So like, you have people from all over Ireland, from all backgrounds, I'd imagine, watching the Joe.ie stuff. So you have to kind of cater towards that, while not completely abandoning your own style of comedy, but just being conscious of that there's more people of like, different backgrounds than, like, I suppose, watch mine that are watching my videos purely for like my style of content, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? Because the Joe.ie content is quite broad as well. So we do comedy, we do interviews, you know, journalism, and you know, junkets and stuff like that. So the type of content that goes out on Joe is much broader than on my own page. If that makes sense.
And would you write down ideas, or how do you deal with your creative, or is it just a flow now for you?
Yeah, it's just comes naturally, man. I'll just turn on the camera and just run on. No, I have to. I have like a big notes app full of like ideas that like some are shy, but some might work, or some I'm like, oh yeah, that'll definitely work. So I try to jot that down. If it comes into my head, like I'll jot that down straight away, and then when I have time, then I'll go back and maybe like flesh it out and script it out and stuff, and then actually shoot the thing and edit it, you know. Yeah.
Do you feel pressure to when you come up with a video for Joe and say you post it? Do you be like, oh, I hope that does well now, or it's better do well, because?
Yeah, I suppose like the thing is, I still to this day don't know how the algorithm works, or like how, like what will do well or what people will like. I'll spend hours making a video that I'm sure people will love, and I'll post it and I'll be like, this is a winner, this is gonna get loads of views, and then it flops and you're like, alright, grand. And then you spend 2 minutes making like a one shot thing of you saying something, and or like, you know, like just a random thing that's happening, and like it'll get 1 million views or something. Like, so you can never tell. So when I'm posting something, I try not to put too much pressure on myself. And like, sure, at the end of the day, like we post two videos a day, or two or three videos a day, so it doesn't matter. Like we're not saving lives anyway. So if video flops, that's grand. On to the next one. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's kind of like throwing something into a well, isn't it? Sort of, or throwing like
throwing off shiny
doing a
walls
lottery
and
ticket,
stick,
basically.
like.
Yeah.
How did the Joe.ie thing come about? How did you end up?
I think at the time I'd done something commercial with them at some stage. They reached out, and I think I did something to do with, on Pust. This is before I worked with them, and then maybe so like I knew the guys in there, and then I remember I posted a video. It was like a satire video or parody video of like, you know, one of those like, what's the best pint in Dublin kind of thing, you know, doing those videos, those interview videos, and then that did well enough, and then one of the lads in there who I kind of knew messaged me about coming in, just seeing if it was a good fit, and I went in. I started doing a couple of days a week, and then went full time with them, and haven't looked back. And then like it was great for a couple of months, and then the other lad, Ross McCartney, I don't know if the other guy who's in the Joe videos,
I don't know if I'm getting him mixed up with Simon, Anna.
Maybe you're getting mixed up with Simon, yeah. Ross is
was he with you on the Paddy Power Comedy Fest?
Was he there that night? I think. Yes, that's Ross.
So we would have met him.
Yeah, I think you met Ross then. But yeah, he started in Joe a couple months after that, and he's fucking hilarious. Like, and he's another comedian. He's a good improv comedian and stuff. So like when he came on board, we were able to like write sketches together, and that helped loads. And that like I learned loads from being able to collaborate with someone like on a daily basis. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
What would you say is your best trait, and what's a trait you think you need to work on?
Best trait, my luscious locks, my long hair. I would say, oh God, my best trait. Fucking hell, lads, what do people usually say? I'm shit at saying nice things about myself. One thing I can work on, being more organised. Yeah, I think if I was more organised, I would complete life and everything would be great. And I'm just the most disorganised bastard. Like, I feel like you'd text me a million times to do this, and I'd be like, yeah, I'll get back to you. I'm the worst for getting back to people and stuff like that. And I try to use my Google Calendar, and that doesn't even work. So like, I think being organised would be great. In terms of what's my best trait, I suppose I'm kind. I would like to think I'm a kind person. Yeah,
great trait. Yeah.
And I like to make sure everyone else is happy and having a good time.
Deadly.
Yeah. What's your best trait?
My best trait? Probably
Self-belief, I'd say.
Not taking no for an answer.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. What about you?
Self-belief and same, not taking no for an answer.
Really? Yeah. I can tell. And what's something you need to work on?
Need to work on. Maybe organised as well. If I wrote a few things down, if I planned out where I have to do this day and edit this or post this, or I think I could do a lot better.
Well, let me know how you get on with that, so I can take a look for you. What about you? What do you need to work on?
Procrastination. I think. Like just doing things.
That's a good one. Yeah,
Bang,
straight away. Yeah, that's it. That's
like so. You're talking about this with Calvin. Like, I will leave everything till the last minute. Yeah.
But you leave it in enough time to be able to do it.
I'll get it done. Like.
That's the thing. I work like that a bit as well. Once I have a deadline, I'll 100% get it done before the deadline. But I sometimes set myself the deadline to make sure I get it done.
Yeah.
In a way.
Yeah.
Which I think I need to stop doing that.
Diamonds are made under pressure.
Yeah, that's a fact.
So,
yeah.
That one's gone in the book.
Yeah, jot that down. Yeah. And I made that one.
Ryan Carrick next to it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, I could definitely do less procrastinating and just be writing down stuff in a fucking planner would work out for me, I think. Yeah.
What motivates you?
Money. No, I'm joking. I don't really care about money, but I think what motivates me, making people laugh, I suppose, motivates me. To be honest, that's my main goal. Is to, like, in terms of like being a comedian, is making people laugh, and I don't know, so maybe validation, maybe people being like, that was a good job, or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Mm.
Which I don't know is a good if that's a good or bad thing, but like I wouldn't mind someone telling me that I did a good job or whatever. So like, and to avoid disappointment or disappointed people, I think that motivates me. Which I don't even know if they're like that's a positive mindset or outlook, but I suppose I joked there about money, but I wouldn't mind being comfortable. Do you know what I mean? Like, and not. I would love to buy a house at some stage, so that does actually motivate me as well.
Yeah.
Having enough money to buy a house before I'm fucking 60, that'd be great. Yeah, stuff like that. What motivates you? God, these are really fucking deep questions, man. Sorry, I don't think I've ever been asked how much or what motivates me. What motivates you?
This
knowledge.
podcast
Like, knowledge.
Yeah, like
knowledge.
Learning off different people. Like,
yeah.
Every day, like we done a podcast last night, and I just have the same drive coming into every podcast. Like, you can learn something off anybody.
Really, yeah.
You can definitely pick 2-3 things up off anyone.
We've already learned a few quotes. So
I think purpose, like, someone with purpose can really get through anything. I think, like, and I love talking to new people as well for one reason, because I love to find out what their purpose is. And as soon as you see it, they might not know it. But with me, I look for it. So as soon as you see that, maybe it could be anything from politics to drumming to podcasts, whatever. But as soon as you mention that, something like clicks in them, you can see a little like sparkle in their eyes, and they really get passionate. They forget that they're even talking to like a person they just know, and they really get passionate and start getting into what they're talking about. And that really drives me. I think, like,
it's hard to find as well. Like, people like us that have found their purpose, like, it's very hard to find your purpose. Like, a lot of people will drift through life and they won't find it.
Most people don't.
Yeah,
that's why I'm motivated, because I've found my purpose and now I have something to work towards.
That's what I'd say to people is, like, never give up on your purpose, because it's very hard to find it. Some people would love to find it the way you have, and they'd give their all to it. Yeah,
no, I do. You're right. Yeah, I do consider myself lucky that I've have a passion like that, because you're right that, like, not everyone has it. Like, people do just kind of breeze through.
And that bit of like indifference as well. Like, not many people can say they're a comedian. Like, some people can say everybody has that bit of indifference. Like, so like, I struggle to use that word up until recently. But I think I've done enough stand-up gigs now at this stage that I can call myself a comedian. Would you call me a comedian?
Yeah.
I would. Yeah.
Thank you for saying that.
You're making people laugh.
Yeah. Okay, I'll take that. But yeah, no. So would you say your purpose then is to, I suppose you said to kind of like achieve knowledge. But the podcasts and stuff, that's a purpose for you at the moment.
Yeah.
What do you use?
My purpose
Where do you want to go?
probably be the purpose of this podcast right now at the minute is two normal young fellas from Dublin who are chasing their dreams, who while they're doing that they're inspiring others to chase their dreams. Because we have done that with a certain amount of people, and we are chasing our dreams, and by chasing our dreams we're showing people look where we started and look where we're going to end up. So we think that's good. Yeah.
Would you take a lot of inspiration from Talking Bollocks?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
At the
they're
start
great
they're probably the first podcast I ever listened to. I used to
Really,
listen to
yeah?
every episode of them boys.
Wow,
Me, man,
yeah.
car, yeah. And find it very hard to listen to podcasts now though. But I do. I like them boys. Yeah.
Yeah. No, they're really good lads.
Like we had Calvin on, so that was like.
Was that the first time you had him
moment.
on? Yeah, just the reason. It was
Yeah.
just before
Yeah,
Christmas,
yeah.
about a month ago.
Yeah.
So was that a dream come true then to have?
Yeah, it was
one
a
year?
full circle moment, definitely. Yeah. Like
Yeah.
going from like, I still remember the days I'd be sitting on the PlayStation with them in the background while I'm playing, say, Fortnite or whatever.
Yeah,
So it is
yeah.
mad, yeah.
I remember when I was working as a barista before Joe, and Terence used to come in the whole time, and I remember like seeing that he started the podcast, and then he was in 2 weeks later, and I was like, it's like you 10,000 followers on your Instagram page. And I was like, that is wild. I'd never heard of them like before this, and they just like they completely blew up. And I suppose COVID might have had a bit to do with it, but like it was also two young fellas from inner city Dublin and adjacent whatever, but like just talking about life, and then like they started in the kitchens, didn't they? They started in one of their kitchens, and then out of nowhere they were getting some crazy guests on, like really like well known people, but then they were really good at finding like very interesting people with really good stories as well, you know. So I can imagine that was you know, a big one for you, yeah.
What's the hardest obstacle you've ever had to overcome?
God, lads, for fuck's sake. I suppose it was kind of something we spoke about. It was maybe confidence. Yeah. It was like, because I was honestly shy, but I was like annoyed by like how shy I was, or like how conscious of what other people thought about me. Do you know what I mean? I feel like that's actually why I was shy, was because like I was too conscious of like what people would think if I did something like it. Like I do, like I'm doing a play at the moment that my dad's been involved with the group for years, and I just never would have gotten involved when I was younger, because I thought like, I'm not fucking doing a play with my dad, like, because I'll get slagged for that, do you know what I mean? Like, but I'm raging that I didn't do it sooner, because like I love acting. Yeah, it's great crack. And yeah, so I suppose it was kind of maybe my biggest obstacle was getting over caring about what people thought about me.
I think that's the same for a lot of people. Like I heard Eddie Murphy saying, I actually watched his documentary, then I listened to him on 1 or 2 podcasts, and he was saying that like someone asked him like, what do you think the key to your success is, and he said obviously I control things out like self-belief and persistence, and he said the one thing was like I wasn't afraid to make myself look stupid. Like he said, I always used to just go to the maximum effort of making myself look stupid, and people loved it. And it is, when you look at all this comedy, like it is shouting down the mic, and but that's what blew him up, like.
Yeah.
And like I think that's the same with everything, it's just fully being yourself.
100%. Yeah, like I would have hated going up to people on the street and asking them to like answer my fucking questions and stuff, but like.
Do you think that like Joe.ie and yourself have a big impact on like Irish culture? Because I think you do.
I don't.
Like,
I wouldn't say I have a big impact on Irish culture. I would say
with the videos, like I've watched them on like Paddy's Day, on say Christmas, and you just put things up, and it is like you do think of like Ireland and Joe, like.
Yeah, no, I'd say Joe.ie exists in the Irish zeitgeist and is quite relevant and prominent and stuff, for better or worse. But like, so I definitely think like it's probably one of the biggest media publishers in Ireland in terms of like video views and like post views and stuff.
Culture of Ireland,
and pushing Irishness out there and stuff. So that is cool, like, you know. And a lot of people would shout Joe at me and think my name is Joe. So for the record, my name is not Joe. But I'll change if you really want to change it. I'll change it. Joe is like God. Joe is like omnipresent. He's like everywhere. There's no Joe in Joe.ie, but there's Joe. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. When I'm having a wank, like I know Joe.
What's the biggest lesson you've learned throughout your career or life?
I love it. I've never been this serious ever. I would say, look, I it might be a bit repetitive, but like it's yeah, it's like, and maybe it's a bit cliche, but it's like, just like go for it. Follow your passion. If you have a passion, if you have like a skill that you want, that you're a little bit, doubtful of or something, I would say just go for it. Like, because I think if you don't, then it's a case of like letting it pass you by, and then you're kind of drifting through life, as you were saying, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's so easy and then I suppose all the themes here, but like you can procrastinate and say, oh, I'll do that thing down the line or whatever, or I'll write that book, or I'll make that video, or I'll start that page, or whatever it is, or I'll start that podcast, and time goes by very quickly, so like before you know it, like you're not able to do those things, so if you have an interest and you even have a slight inkling that you could do something, I'd say go for it. Yeah.
And where would you like to see yourself in 5 years?
Where I'll probably maybe back on this podcast. Yeah. Will it still be going in 5 years?
Oh yeah,
It'll be the biggest in the world in 5 years.
Okay. Yeah, I believe you. I would say you can't call it back at the class then, though. You probably have to change it.
We started in the back of the
Yeah,
class.
we're just gonna keep it original.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
Well, let's see where the journey brings us, but that's where we started. We'll keep our humble beginnings.
Yeah,
Especially in a classroom as well, where everybody who exists on the world most likely has been, like, and then we can turn that into some amazing, and that alone could be an inspiration to people.
Yeah, I believe that. Yeah. No, I'd say, I would say I would like to be doing my own gigs, and like my dream would be to be an actor. Like, that would be my dream, and I suppose I'm slowly working towards doing that in a more serious way. I probably could even take my own advice and try to push for that a bit more. But that'd be the absolute dream, to maybe be on a TV show or whatever, or write a TV show, and then do my own headline shows and stuff like that, and all that sort of stuff. Like just performing and being on stage and being on screen, and maybe just try take the stuff that I'm doing on my phone to maybe like a telly. Do you know what I mean? That would be great. Yeah.
What's been the highlight of your Joe career so far?
My Joe career.
Yeah.
God, I have a few highlights. Like, I've met some really cool people, through junkets and stuff. Like, I met Paul Mescal. We interviewed Paul Mescal
Daily.
and Ryan Gosling, and a few others. And
what was Ryan like?
he was sound. Yeah,
You know Wrexham.
Yeah.
No,
Where
Ryan
Ryan
Ryan.
that's
Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah,
Was it not two of them? Ryan
No,
Gosling
Rob
and Ryan-
McElhenney.
Ryan Gosling's. He was in Barbie, wasn't
He was
he?
in Barbie, exactly. He was
Yeah.
10, yeah. It was for a movie called Fall Guy. Now look, these
I've
junkets
seen
are
that.
5 minutes long. Like, you have 5 minutes to meet them, and you have to play it cool. But like
What did you ask him?
I was like,
Did you have like?
you have to ask about the movies.
Yeah.
And funny enough, this is a video of this, but like I asked him a question. As I say, you only have five minutes or whatever, and there's a producer behind the thing, like saying like 2 minutes left, 1 minute left, and so like I was like, and I chanced my arm and I asked it like another question. Can't really remember what the question was. It was something about stunt moves or something, or stunt work in movies, and the producer like just said, "Sorry, Ryan," said to me, "Ryan, you won't have time to ask that. I was trying to give you the nod, time." And Ryan Gosling actually cut in and was like, "No, I actually like that he asked that question, so I'm going to answer it." And so I looked into his big beautiful eyes and I said, "I love you," and we wore the face off. And then he answered. So like, that was nice, and you could probably see that I was like, sorry, and he probably just felt bad for me, and that's why he answered my question. But
I'd say that noise actors the odd time like could weigh everything so like managed, and I know it has to be, but I'd say sometimes they do be a bit like, I like this person, I want to answer as many. Can't.
Yeah, they run a very tight ship with those things. I've only done a few of them, but it's been good crack. But I suppose my highlights are some of the sketches that we've made, and I like the fact that I get to make comedy sketches, every week. Like for my job is just what,
We noticed that as well with David Gea. Actually,
he makes great comedy sketches.
Most of the time with people, it's not actually them; it's the crew around them or the managers or security. We were in the middle of an interview with Dave, and he really liked us because like we pulled up to him. We have a whole little sort of thing we do. Like it's like, David, we were 16 at the time. We're like, David, we're 16. We've interviewed this person. We're chasing our dreams. We're trying to inspire the younger generation. Can we have a minute at a time? He's like, oh my God, you guys are 16. We're like, yeah. He's like,
oh, look at you.
Yeah, no. He said that after because he was like, you guys are 16. Let's do it. And he was signing something for some fella. As hotel. He was signing something for
Grand Canal, was it?
Close.
It was up there, yeah.
He was signing something for some fella, and he said, oh my God, you're 16. He turned that back at the fella, and he's like, let's do it. Then we done it, and as soon as he said let's do it, we whipped the mics out of the pocket and all, and because we just in tracksuits, like as we always are, pulled out the mics and all, and he had the transmitter, everything was ready, we click record. He was looking like that. Look at you guys. We kept it in the video. It was like a little hook, and it actually done very. It got like 300,000 views or something.
No way. Why did you know he was there?
Just chasing down avenues.
What do you mean? That sounds very suspect. What do you mean? How did you know David Guetta was at that hotel?
We knew someone that knew his manager, and like they kind of had a trust of where he stayed last time.
Oh yeah. Okay.
It wasn't organised, but they said to us, look, this is what we can do for you. He's here at this time. Go and try your luck.
Yeah, do what you want to do. Jeez, that's wild, lads. Yeah, fair play. And that's great. Like that's guerrilla.
And that's what I was getting at. We were in the middle of an interview, and he was really enjoying it. He liked us, like, and I think we were going to show him the page after to see if he'd even follow us, like, and we were in the middle of the interview, and his security was like, no, that's it, let's go. And he stepped in front of the camera, and Dave was like, one more question, and then we asked, and then as soon as I was about to like show him the page, he was ushered into the van. I was like, but look, these things happen. We'll get him again.
He's very. You did well to get him and all.
Yeah,
fair play. That is like, that's the way to do it. That is so ballsy. Fair play. Yeah.
But even yourself, like interviewing Ryan Gosling, like you'll think back on them times when you're in a movie with him.
Yeah, well that's exactly it. Yeah. When he's an extra in my movie.
There you go.
He'll say, "Oh, you interviewed me back with Joe.ie."
Tables turn.
Yeah,
exactly.
Always yeah. Thanks, lads. Thanks for that. I'm gonna manifest that now.
Yeah.
What's the best piece of advice you ever received?
I suppose I've gotten some good advice from comedians. My friend Shane Daniel Byrne. Now, like this was this specific comedy. My friend Shane Daniel Byrne, he's a really good comedian, and he has given me lots of advice on like how to do stand up and stuff. And I remember I did a stand up gig before, and it was my first ever stand up gig. It was actually at our podcast live show. It was at the start of the podcast, and I got up, and I had 10 minutes learnt off, but I got up, and at the start of the show, and I just went blank, and I didn't know what the fuck I was supposed to say. I completely forgot my set, and I stood there for I'd say about 30 seconds, just like, what's it? And I think a lot of people there assumed it was part of the joke, and even after I was like, I thought that was part of the set, and I was like, no, it absolutely wasn't. Maybe they're being nice, but I remember he told me after that, he was like, when you're doing a stand-up set, you have to say it, like walk around your room and say it out loud as if you're doing it to an audience. And I think I never said my set out loud. I only ever read over it. And then as soon as I did that, then that never happened again. I never got up and forgot. I suppose in terms of like a more kind of general or broader life sort of advice, I think it was it was kind of what we've been saying. Like, you just like follow your fucking dreams. Like, you know what I mean, or follow like that passion. And I wish I'd done it sooner. Do you know what I mean? So like, I'm great at giving advice, but I'm awful at taking it. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. What's the best advice you ever got?
It was off Uncle Murder, and I'll always credit him for it. Uncle Murder.
Oh yeah.
Our G unit.
Yeah.
He said, like, I'll always credit him for it. It's better to get 10% of something than 100% of nothing.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's simple advice, but like, it is cliche, but it's, when I really think of it, like, it's better to get 10% than absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
You might think, oh, I want 100% of this. It's better to get 10%. It's better than not getting anything.
Yeah, dead right. Yeah.
So yeah.
What about you?
So I always get asked this question because what I do, obviously, when people first find out and they look through the page, they're like, you ask this person, what about you? I'm always thinking of it, but I don't know.
You just haven't gotten any good advice yet.
No, I have. I've got great advice, but just...
See, that's a tough question, isn't it? Like,
Yeah.
it's... I feel like I've gotten so much good advice over the years, but I don't...
Actually,
maybe I just fucking forget it as soon as someone tells me.
another piece of advice is, if it's not going to body it in 5 minutes, or
That's a great one.
if it won't body it in 5 years, don't let it body it for 5 minutes.
Yeah, easier said than done.
Yeah.
But it's right. Like,
It's good to keep in the back
So,
of your head.
this is one of them. The hardest obstacle you will have to overcome is other people's limits and other people's doubts, not yours. Because that's a lot of people's
So no
downfall.
one can limit you, really.
A lot of people's downfalls is other people telling them they can't do stuff and then them going and believing it. Whereas if you actually go and grab it, you might not get it the first time, but you'll get fingertips closer, and then that will light a fire in you to actually go
fail
and grab
forward
it.
to get it then. Yeah.
Yeah.
There you go.
Shoot
Fail
for the
forward.
moon. If you miss, you land among the stars. Like,
I
you
said
know
that in a
kind of
podcast the other day. It was it's better to shoot for an A and land on the C than shoot for a C and land on an F.
Yeah.
That's deadly.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's what I would cut it, and that's my bit of advice.
Deadly, yeah. we how does it work with Joe? See, like with the interviews and like collabs and that, would they reach out to you, or would you go to them with an idea, or how would that work?
When it comes to like other, like working with like brands, is it, or like
Us,
or
for
like-
example.
like, so if I'm working with Joe, is that it? Like,
Yeah.
what do you mean? So like, if I go to
If we wanted to work with Joe or do something with Joe, how would I go about doing
you're looking for a job.
No, not a job, but
I suppose just people just get in touch. Yeah, just people get in touch. And we would also, like, depending on what the project is or what the bit of content is, like, we'd reach out as well, you know, to like the relevant people. Like, you say, for instance, like if we're working on a comedy thing, we need a comedian or an actor or whatever, we reach out. Yeah. If we're doing interviews as well, like with people, we'll just drop them a DM or something, or an email. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, it's very, like, it's not very like, social media is great for that. Like, and you probably know that you can just get in touch with pretty much anyone. Like, if you really want to use more than most know that you got in touch with everyone. But like, it's great. Like, it opens up the channels. Like, I feel like it's much easier to get in touch with people than it might have been beforehand. You know.
Yeah. 100%.
even DMing ads, D-Block Europe.
Yeah.
We were DMing him the day of the show because they brought us in backstage, and I was our first time going in backstage, and he was just. We went out into the show then, and we were in the show waiting to come on stage. He was texting us on Instagram and all, and our minds were blown, and people were like looking over our shoulder and all saying, "Can you get me in backstage? Can you get me in backstage?"
Where was he playing?
In the Tree Arena.
In the Tree Arena, yeah.
Yeah, it was deadly, and some fella, he was like, "Can you get me in backstage?" I was like, "Mate, I was lucky to get back there," and he was like, "Look, come here, I want to tell you something." And he puts a hand on my shoulder, and I leaned in. How revelry! I was like, he's a chancer, but God loves a chancer. Yeah.
But I think once you experience that, like, people, like, say, ads, texting it, whatever, or even you down the Ryan Gosling interview, like, you just realise they're normal people.
Yeah,
And they follow their dreams.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's
Me and Glenn, we have like a hyper focus on like Olivia Dean is doing very, very well at the minute.
Yeah.
So we really looked into our story and we figure out like, how did this actually come about? How did the start of last year in January, she was getting like 2,000 streams a month or something.
Sure,
fast
even,
forward
like,
to now,
SD Kid.
it's up there in the millions. Like,
SD Kid was getting 300 listeners a month, which is very bad on Spotify for a musician. Last year in December, well, you could consider it bad, but now look at him, he's on 30 million monthly listeners now.
He had a bit of help, though, didn't he?
yeah, it did.
Yeah, it did help him a lot, but I think the persistence to get to that level is what blew him up as well.
Yeah. No,
Like, he could
100%.
have stopped when he was at 300 listeners and said, look, I'm finished, but he kept going, and it's what led
No,
him to
absolutely, yeah. No, 100%. Like, you're not gonna reach success immediately. Like, you do have to,
exactly.
you have to graft, and you have to push for it, and yeah, as you said, like, not give up if things don't work out immediately. Do you know what I mean?
Definitely, yeah.
What does success mean to you?
That is a good question. I suppose, like, yeah, getting a few likes and a few views and all is great. But I do think I've really started to appreciate when I post something that I find funny or that I'm happy with. That's genuinely what I find, what I kind of, I suppose, call success is if I'm happy with a piece of content or a piece of work or whatever. And then if other people appreciate that obviously is great. And look, I'm not saying that, like, I don't care what other people think. Like, I will, like, take feedback on board and all, like, you know, think in a healthy way at this stage. But I think I'm much better now at, like, appreciating something that I like or I'm happy with, in conjunction with, like, what people say or what feedback people give. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Me and Glenn are figuring that out lately a lot. It used to really get to us, like, control the controllables. That's what we always say to each other now.
Exactly, like the algorithm thing.
There's nothing you can do about it.
Nothing
All
you can
can
do.
do
I
is
always
click
think of the
post,
algorithm
and
as
that's
like a person who doesn't like you one day and will say hello to you the next day.
Yeah. That's exactly
You ever
it.
get people like one day they're all over you, how are you, whatever.
Yeah.
Next day they'll just walk away.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And I do, like, look, obviously there's ways to navigate it and there's ways to manipulate it and put stuff out there that'll be picked up by the algorithm. There just has to be, like, it's a fucking formula or whatever, but like, as well as, like, at the same time, like, it's you could post something that, like, is the exact same as something that you post the next day, and it'll just perform completely differently, and, like, you drive yourself mad trying to figure that out. You know what I mean? So you do have to, I suppose, try to remember that, like, remember that, and then, you know, if you're happy with something, then, you know,
It's all that matters, really.
it's all that matters, and then you can work on trying to cater that towards the audience and trying to get it out there, and then, but like consistency and quality of what you're doing as well, like, is like, they're the most important things. Yeah.
Me and Glenn always say it's like a catalogue. Like, it might not be hot right now, but now that's in your charts, that's in your book. When something is really hot and people click in to see what else you have, and they scroll down and be like, oh, look, this is and this and this and this, then like, everything is.
It's only till you, like, I seen a picture of I Show Speed is YouTube from years ago, and luckily someone screenshotted it at the time, which is mad, but they just screenshotted it, and he might have even put it out there himself, and he had 10 views on one YouTube video, and now the fella is touring Africa, and he has like 1 billion viewers every month. It's like
It's wild, isn't it?
It shows you, like,
Yeah.
Is
See, a mauled by a cheetah there. See, a mauled by a
Speed,
cheetah. They raced him. They raced the cheetah.
Yeah.
He's a
That is a
man.
nut job, yeah.
Is there anything you wish we had have asked you, or something you think we can improve going into the next episode?
Jeez, that's a very good question. No, you fucking covered all the bases there. Got very deep, and I probably should have thought. About, like, how I feel about my career a bit more. So no, it's very, like, it is good. It makes you think, makes you kind of, like, a bit more introspective and kind of consider, like, all areas of, like, what the fuck you're doing with your life. But no, I suppose, like, I can't actually fault these lads, because these are 17 years of age, and he's doing a very successful. He's started a very successful podcast. Had really good names. He's obviously fucking grafters. Like, he's spending Saturdays going into town looking for, you know, people of notoriety to chat to and stuff. So I can't I can't see if you keep powering on with that. Like, I just can't see he's not doing well for yourselves, to be honest.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Legend.
These are perfect.
Pleasure having you on.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Boom. That just wrapped up episode 63.
Where can
Wrapped up.
people find you on social media?
At the Ryan Carrick. Because there's only one, boys, yeah? Nah, there's probably a few, but I'm at the Ryan Carrick.
You're the main one.
I'm the main one, yeah. On Instagram and TikTok, I suppose. I use, I have Twitter, but that place is awful.
Yeah.
So don't even bother getting me there.
Away.
TikTok and Instagram. Stay away from Twitter or X. Yeah, he's getting me there. At the Roleplay Pod as well is my podcast page, which is also very important. So
Daily.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thanks,
Thank you.
lads.